Please remember, while Fuller House is a family show,
the Fullest House Podcast is not.
Listener discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to the Fullest House Podcast, a show that we surely did make. I'm Zach Horowitz.
I'm Mark Greene.
And I'm Harrison Bloom. Guys, it's the finale. We did it.
We made it. We made it to the final episode.
Yeah.
We made it.
We made it.
I believe 75 episodes in across 5 seasons.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
We made it. This is the final episode.
This started out like half as a joke, but we persevered.
This
Yeah.
started off as
Going.
like a way for us to pass the time during when like quarantine first hit in 2020, and now we're here, which is amazing
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Great.
Also, depressing that
Yeah.
we're still in the pandemic.
COVID-19 pandemic.
A little
yeah.
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about a global pandemic. We're here to talk about the series finale of Fuller House.
Ooh,
Because
smooth
a lot
transition.
I had to throw at least one more in there, you know? Because
yeah.
this episode
Chef's
likes to
kiss.
call back to earlier things.
Yes.
And so I'm calling
Mhm.
back to my, big transition days earlier because I was
Which-
kind of slacking in recent
Yeah.
seasons. So
Which
we're
I do-
back.
I do want to say one thing that I really appreciate about this episode is it does like to call back to previous things,
Mhm.
but this episode mostly calls back to Fuller House and not
nice
Full
distinction.
We're taking a step up in the world. The show is more so self-referential as opposed to another show.
It
Yeah.
does
So we're making
still
progress.
reference Full House.
But not in the way that it referenced Full House in the beginning of the show, where it was constant and
Yeah.
intrusive.
Yeah.
But here it was
Yeah.
like a way that was more fun, especially to us as people who have been obsessively watching the show for the past year and a half.
Yeah.
We made it. We
We
did
did.
it.
We
it.
made it. And without further ado, why don't we get started on the episode itself?
Yeah.
All right.
Guys, the gang gets back from their rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
We got
Yep.
the Gibblers, the Fullers, Stephanie and Jimmy, I guess also the Gibblers.
Mhm.
And one very special Fernandez Guerrero.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if I've mentioned it. I always refer to them as the Gibblers in my notes.
Yeah, because writing the Hernandez Guerreros would be extremely hard.
Oh,
That's
for sure.
true. It's also the fact that it's Kimmy Gibbler and Ramona Gibbler, and
Right.
then
Yeah.
Fernandez Guerrero. But I don't think there's not a ton to report right away, but I do want to single out there was one line that I really liked where they're
Do
saying
tell.
something like, well, that was a great rehearsal dinner, and Kimmy says, or Stephanie references when Fernando and Kimmy performed a kabuki dance at a rehearsal dinner,
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
referencing Fuller
The
House.
first of many references to come.
Yep, she says this to say, quite rightfully, this was a better rehearsal dinner because nobody did that.
Because nobody was racist.
Nobody was racist. Hey guys, this episode wasn't racist.
We don't have to play that game
Hooray.
this time.
We
Wow.
don't have to.
Well, I mean, we could play it, but the answer would be no.
No, yeah.
And that goes
Is
against the very
that
fabric of the game.
Racist.
Because everyone knows the answer is always yes, and that's how the game works. But we can't play the game because then the answer would be no, and it's a paradox.
That's
hey,
true.
there have been times where I've asked, is that racist? And you guys have rightly said, no, not really.
Okay. But
Yeah.
Kimmy has a line that I really like. We're reflecting on the previous weddings they've been involved in. She says, this might be the first wedding of ours where someone actually gets married,
Yeah.
which I thought was fun.
That was fun.
Yes, it was fun.
I had a new prediction for
Yeah.
this episode that I'm disappointed I didn't bring up in the previous one. I was really hoping that we were like taking bets on what would happen to Michelle and Becky. And I thought it would be hilarious if either they showed up at the wedding but off screen,
Mhm.
or someone ran in and said, just the whole premise is that everything at this wedding is going wrong. So I thought it would be hilarious and fucked up if someone ran in and said, "Oh my god, Michelle and Becky were on their way to the wedding and got hit by a car." And it never happened.
I thought you were going to... See, Harrison, I thought you were going to say, like, their plane was delayed. And I was going to jump in and say, well, my thing was that they were both dead.
Well, I expected them to be dead,
Well, now
too.
it's both of your things.
But here's the thing. I thought they died long ago.
That's true.
True.
And we just weren't mentioning it. Or wait, no, I think our working theory was that Michelle is dead and Becky is in prison.
Yes. That's been the working theory. I just thought it would be funny if they just confirmed it. But obviously they wouldn't do that because
But Danny, Tanny, and Joey are both here. They show up.
Yes, they're both here.
We've reached the point in the series where when Dave Coulier enters, I no longer go, oh no.
Yeah.
Character development.
It's Stockholm syndrome, guys. We've been indoctrinated.
Some call it Stockholm syndrome. Others say character development. I'll
Fair
leave it to you
enough.
guys to decide which one.
Yeah. But then, guys, the emotional bombshell, because Tommy asks, can someone read me a story? Not in so many words. I think he just says like story time and holds up a book. And Ramona says, I'll read you a story one last time before I move away. And J-Money immediately is like, Ramona, you can't mention that you're moving away. Mom is in denial. And DJ's like, yes, I'm in denial. Only good things right now.
Yeah.
And can I just say, J-Money is blaming Ramona for this. But if we trace it back, who's the one that really broached the subject?
It's the bad
Who asked
baby.
for one last story? It's
bad
Tommy,
baby.
the bad baby.
Oh my god. It's all coming together.
You're right. All along.
We couldn't end the podcast without talking about how Tommy is a bad baby one more time.
You're right. He is a bad baby. I never believed you.
He's ruining his mother's wedding by bringing the
bastard.
sadness.
Oh my god.
I would not go as far as to call a baby a bastard, just personally. I don't want to do that.
Oh my god.
That was me. I take full blame for that. Mark is not.
Yeah, I just
affiliated
want it
with
legally
calling
on
babies
tape,
bastard.
which we are recording on tape, of course.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh god, yeah.
That I didn't call I just said he was a bad baby. I didn't say he was a bastard.
Yeah.
But he's
okay.
a bad baby. But there's also a very good joke where, you know, DJ says, you can't talk about moving out, only happy memories. Let's all have some pie. And Ramona says, oh, I'd love to have another slice of pie before we move away.
God damn it, Ramona.
Ramona is not very good at this.
I love Ramona.
She's so great.
Ramona
She's
is
so
great.
good.
Best girl.
She's very good.
Best girl.
But Coco is best girl.
Yeah, Coco, who showed up in one episode and who we've always been rooting
To come
for
back, yeah.
to come back.
Never happened.
Never happened. Spoilers, it never happened. She doesn't show up in this
Spoilers,
episode.
yeah. We've reached the end of the series, so we can say for
There
sure
was a
it
real
never
possibility
happened.
here. There were a lot of guest appearances, especially in the background.
There were a lot.
But
A
yeah,
lot
I
of
wanted
people
to
come in.
note, I'm sure we'll get into it more later, but a couple of episodes ago, before we recorded, I made a joke to you about how we were never going to see Baseball Christie ever again.
Yeah.
And then he showed up
twice.
in that episode, and two in the background of this episode.
Yeah.
Twice.
He showed
Two
up twice.
times.
Boy, were you wrong.
You can tell me how wrong I was. Tell me to eat shit. I got that one wrong.
You were
Real
very wrong.
Very wrong. You should be ashamed.
The fact that Baseball Christie is like credited as appearing in the episode and they did not give him any lines is this makes me angry.
Zach is livid.
I am
Zach is
fucking livid right
you
now.
You can't tell because we're recording. This is an audio format, but Zach is like pacing around the room, throwing fists in the air.
Yeah.
Oh
He's
yeah,
so
for sure.
angry.
I'm very scared.
I'm so incredibly angry. I'm like pacing around the room, like punching the air right now.
Oh my God, Zach, you're about to hit that lamp.
We'll add in like a glass breaking sound in post or something. I don't know.
What do you mean in post? You just punched a lamp.
Yeah, but I feel nothing. I'm powered by pure spite.
You're dead inside. The man you once were is gone.
Yes,
like
Harrison.
this show.
How am I gonna survive with no more Fuller House content? This has been my life.
It really is the end of an era.
Well, maybe we'll find a new show for you. Maybe about a bunch of teens making a web show.
Yeah,
we'll talk about
That
it
sounds
later.
promising.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the next scene, all the grooms and brides are around the table, and suddenly Jimmy's like, "It's 11:58. All the guys, we have to go because we can't see them the day of the wedding before we get married."
Yeah.
And he rushes them out. Total success on Jimmy's part. Then it turns out he forgot his phone, so he runs back in and says, "That was close. I set a timer for when it's midnight to make sure I don't see you, Steph." And then, of course, the alarm for midnight goes off.
Yep.
They immediately say, "Well, that's not gonna amount to anything. That's not gonna make a difference." Immediate cut to their wedding venue has been seized.
Oh
God.
no.
Yeah, not anything you would normally expect.
Yeah.
It was seized by the government for money laundering. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, they're like, "What happened?" And this Jewish guard.
Yeah, it's very important that he's Jewish.
And then it was actually an FBI agent.
Oh, it was an FBI agent, right? Right. He says it's on account of the money laundering, tax evasion, and making a terrible chicken Kiev.
I didn't know you
account
could
of
be
the
arrested for
crimes.
that, but I don't know.
I've known some people.
Yeah.
It's weird that it's chicken Kiev specifically, but I think that has something to do with the Cold War.
Oh yeah, the Red Scare. That's
Yeah,
right.
the Red Scare.
Yeah.
That like it was a sort of thing of like it
That
was.
explains a lot.
It used to be people were persecuted. You could do it, but like they put you in front of a committee and be like, "We've heard reports from your neighbors that you're making chicken Kiev."
But bad chicken Kiev specifically.
Bad chicken Kiev, because a good chicken Kiev is like we've taken something from our
enemies,
the Soviet Union, from Russia, and like we've conquered it. We made it really good because we're American and we're better cooks. But if you make it poorly, that's like you are saying they make better chicken Kiev.
Yeah.
You're obviously a communist.
Just one of our listeners, one of our few listeners is like a Russian chef, and he's gonna message us being like, "Hey, my chicken Kiev is very good. Fuck you guys."
I'm not saying Russian people make bad chicken Kiev. I'm saying that during the Red Scare,
We can't let the Russians
government
win,
viewed.
is what Mark is trying to say. If I may step in.
I mean. That's what we really mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that historical context. It was very important.
Oh my god.
I also want to talk about how I think it's really funny that that the venue was seized and not like condemned or something.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's very specifically a sign on the door that says this wedding venue has been seized by the government.
Yep.
It's not closed. It's not condemned. It's not overbooked. It's seized.
I think it's very weird as well that this wedding venue was seized and no one bothered to tell the people who were scheduled to have their wedding there like the next day.
Yeah.
That's true.
This must have been a real ugly operation by the FBI. There were guns shot.
Maybe they deserved to be seized by the government.
Yeah, well, because of the tax evasion
Yeah.
And the
and the
crime.
money
Hey,
laundering.
wait. Innocent till proven guilt.
Okay.
Okay.
You're right. I'm being too hard on these fictional wedding venue owners who did not call the people using the venue.
Well, it's hard to call when they're getting seized by the government.
I was about to say, to be fair, if I was getting arrested by the FBI, I think being like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but our venue is no longer available for your wedding," would maybe be the last thing on my mind.
Yeah.
You know what? That's fair.
And if I was working for the FBI, actually, do you think the FBI has someone just like on staff to call people and be like, "We're so sorry, the FBI seized your wedding venue. I'm sorry. I know this is your big day."
Oh my god.
Do you think they have a designated wedding
They're like a
venue
design-
person?
If they don't, they should.
Which then brings us to Steph's immediate reaction after, hearing from the Jewish FBI agent that the venue's been seized, but a very hearty mazel tov to each of you.
Yes, he tells them, he has a Yiddishy accent, which is the first clue, but then he tells them mazel tov. We're not just saying he's Jewish.
Yeah.
No.
He's
but I think
heavily
it's one
coded.
of those things. Yeah, it's one of those things that we can tell, as Jews, we're able to find other Jews very easily.
We have a sort of radar about these things.
Yeah. But, it's seized and Steph's like, this is all because Jimmy saw me on the day of the wedding. He's cursed.
No. But they all go home and they
Yep.
discuss it. And
Well, they go home or we cut back to home.
right.
And Danny and Joey are sitting on the couch waiting for their waitress to get their drinks. And who walks in with drinks? It's Uncle
Is it
Jesse
Lori
from
Loughlin?
Full House.
Yeah.
It's Uncle Jesse from Full House.
It wasn't Lori Loughlin. It wasn't actress Lori Loughlin. Imagine.
I mean,
That would be so funny.
that would have been amazing.
It would be
would've been
so great. They've hinted that Full
incredible.
House is a show and some of these actors exist. Anyway, it would be so funny if Uncle Joey walked in and they're like, Uncle Joey. And he's like, no, I'm not Joey. My name is Dave Coulier. I'm an actor.
I'm actor Dave Coulier.
You may remember me from The Real Ghostbusters.
Oh
or
my God.
Full House.
Or that TLC song based on.
Wonderful.
So the dads are talking about how proud they are of everybody in the world. And then the girls run in and guess it's DEFCON 1 or 5, whichever is more important.
Those are my least favorite DEF Cons. DEF Cons 1 and
don't-
5.
Wait, that actually, Zach, what is your favorite DEF CON?
DEF Con 3, of course. It was the perfect end to the DEF Con trilogy.
It's low, but there's a little bit of spice.
Exactly.
I was about to
a
say
little-
3 is a little spicy.
Yeah.
I like a little bit of spice in my DEF Cons.
It's a
What
little
can I say?
spicy.
Just enough spice to liven up your world, your global conflicts.
A little bit of spice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but the guys walk in to help. Jimmy will not look at Steph.
Uh-huh.
It's very good.
Mhm.
Also, all the kids walk in, and J-Money immediately says, Jimmy didn't unleash a curse, did he?
As if he's been known to unleash curses in the past.
Yes.
We have established multiple times this is a cult. This could be part of their religion.
That's
I will say,
true.
I know I'm going back a little bit here. I'm very sad that when Jimmy saw Steph at midnight, he didn't yell anxiety one more time.
Yeah, that
he
would
should
have
have
been
yelled
good.
things. That would be a good callback.
Anxiety.
But I definitely think Jimmy, I think Jimmy's a good person, so he'd never do anything intentionally. But I definitely think he'd be like, did anybody drop these bones? And then immediately someone would be like, you've disturbed the ancient altar. I just wanted to know if somebody forgot their bones.
Turns out the Dibbler house was built on the remains of Native Americans.
Did we actually establish that in the past? Was it built on?
Wait, or is that a joke we made in a previous episode?
It might have-
Because
it's
we
like-
They
know
say that
it's
their house was
haunted.
haunted.
Yeah.
They say it's
Guys,
haunted.
this fucking show.
This show,
This
anyway.
show
I love
is a
it.
very
I love this
special kind
show.
of
Love
train
this
wreck
show.
that we're going to miss.
I'm just
Aw.
gonna say it. I love this show and I'm gonna miss it.
Me too.
Oh yeah.
I want
For sure.
my
Me too.
I want my J-Money and Ramona centric spin-off.
Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be so good. You should do it. Cowards. Anyway.
Cowards.
They better. I don't want to wait 30 more years to see Fullest House, the actual show, starring J-Money, Ramona, Rocky, Ethan, Max, and I
Yep.
guess Tommy if he
Yeah.
wants to.
Yeah. But they're like, what are we gonna do? We don't have a wedding venue. And DJ says, I was always wondering secretly why we didn't just have the wedding in the backyard.
Why didn't we have the wedding at Cheers?
Why don't we have the wedding at Cheers?
Yeah, it's that. It's literally
I
that.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
They literally should have said, we should have it in the kitchen.
It's just like, oh, I know, we're just gonna pull this out of our ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And DJ is very much. It's a good idea if they can't get a venue.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
a pretty
it
good
is.
idea.
It is,
But
and it
DJ's
works out pretty well.
But DJ immediately framing it as like, I always thought we should be doing this.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. You wouldn't have booked the venue if you always thought it.
And you know what the other thing is? She says, like, all of our most important memories have happened here. And I think she does mean the house, but I definitely was like, in the backyard?
I guess.
I know
yeah.
you go in there a lot and throw a lot of parties, but like, in the backyard?
Eh,
It's questionable.
Anyway,
it's a little sus.
but Danny says, "Oh, that'll be so much cheaper. I mean, more meaningful." And one,
Priorities.
if you already like paid, if the wedding is today, I assume you already paid for everything.
Yeah, like what happened to the deposit they put down on the venue? I'm assuming that's just like gone based on the money laundering scheme that the venue was a part of.
Yeah, I guess Danny will get in on the class action lawsuit to get back every cent he's owed by that goddamn wedding venue.
But what he really means is this will be so much cheaper for the TV show Fuller House because
Yeah.
we don't have to construct a new set,
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
which is true. And
That
is
is
exactly
true.
why they do these things. Again, it's why in Cheers, every major event is just
at
thrown at their
Cheers.
bar,
Yep.
no matter what it is, including weddings.
Yeah.
including weddings, birthdays, and bar mitzvahs.
Yeah. At least a beautiful backyard is better than Cheers, the bar.
Yeah, that's true. But at this point, DJ's like, okay, we're gonna build a wedding in like 24 hours. Kimmy, you're a party planner. Do a party thing. Steph, you do music. You can do the music stuff. Ramona, you can call the guests. And J-Money's like, oh, and I'll help. I will tidy up the house. And he grabs a pillow, fluffs it like twice, and places it back down. And he's like, done, I helped.
J-Money
It's
is on a roll this episode.
Return of the king of the sad boys.
He's
Yeah.
really good. We said out
love our
loud
sad
more than
boy.
once, we love our sad boy.
We
Yeah.
love our sad
So
boy.
good. But guys, I'm sure with all this venue changing and everything, you're thinking nothing else could go wrong,
Oh, yeah.
right?
No,
Exactly.
nothing else could surely go wrong.
Well, that's so weird because Danny Tanny gets a call, or gets
Oh
he
boy,
gets
who's
a
the
text
call from?
Well, he
Is
gets
it from Aunt Becky?
No, he gets a
God.
text from Pastor Tim.
Oh,
my
Pastor
God,
Tim.
beloved
I love that
character,
guy.
Pastor Tim.
Well, get ready to maybe change your feelings because Pastor Tim is like, I can't do the wedding. I have another assignment for a celebrity wedding.
Oh, Pastor Tim?
Ooh.
Fuck that guy.
Guys, what wedding do you think it was?
I think it was the wedding of Joey McIntyre and Macy Gray.
They say because Max is like, what? Who would he ditch for us? And then Danny whispers something into his ear and Max goes, oh, that's big. So I think it has to be a really big couple.
Yeah.
So I think like maybe Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy.
Ooh,
yeah.
that's a very good one.
That's a good one.
I don't think I can top that.
I think the marriage at the end of Muppets Take Manhattan was ruled as not
Canon.
not being
Yeah.
not being canon, not being official. Well, because of course at the end of Muppets Take Manhattan, Kermit's like, wasn't someone supposed to be playing the minister? And she's like, don't worry about it,
Yeah.
because they're in a play getting married.
Gotcha.
So I think they're finally actually getting married, and it's the
Mm.
blowout of the century. Fozzie's gonna be there. Gonzo's gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Beaker is gonna be there. Animal's
Pastor
gonna be
Tim
there.
is gonna be there.
Pastor Tim will be there. Yeah.
Pastor
It's a
Tim's gonna be
stacked
there.
cast.
Knowing the connections the Muppets have within the puppet industry, Mr. Woodchuck's probably gonna be there.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah.
He
'Cause
doesn't show up in this
spoilers,
episode.
which makes me very sad. But you know who
I know.
does show up, Mark? This is
I
where we're gonna
do.
start getting into the many different cameos that happen
my
in this
God.
episode.
Yes, well, because this is actually the perfect time because they're like, we have to find find someone to officiate the wedding. And so they go through. So now we get a bunch of cameos
Yes.
of people they're talking to. First,
Oh my God,
for
yes.
some reason, Larry. Remember
Yeah,
Larry?
Why was he the first one? Like, that's what I don't understand. Why was he the first? Because, like, later they do some characters like, oh,
Okay.
Gia and Matt. These
Yeah.
make sense. They're, like, close friends. Why did you go to Larry first?
Okay. I have a theory. we know that Larry stalks DJ on Facebook, probably using
Yes.
some sort of
Yeah.
sock puppet
Yeah.
account at this point, because he was blocked on his regular account.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he stalked Danny Tanny's profile, and because Danny Tanny is an old man, of course he posted, "Hey, we need a minister" on Facebook, and Larry was like, on it. He was on it.
Although he does have a very good line where it's like, wait, Larry, why do you want to officiate the wedding? He's like, oh, well, I don't want to officiate the wedding. I want to stop the wedding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's still horny for DJ.
It's
Still
so weird.
horny.
Remember, it's like, why do they contact Larry?
Why do they
Larry is
contact
the
Larry?
father of Max's rival at school,
Yeah.
maybe friend, who we haven't seen in like a few seasons, who was really horny for DJ. Why do they have his number?
Yeah. I imagine like
I
he
don't
just showed up
know.
really early to the wedding and they're like, can you officiate? And he's like, no, I'm here to stop the wedding by getting here really early.
Yeah. I love that he was straightforward with his motives. He didn't try to hide in the job
Pretty
interview.
much, yeah.
That- he didn't pad his resume. He's there
No.
to stop the
It's
wedding.
like, I'm here to stop the
Oh,
wedding.
he's very direct with his
Yeah.
intentions.
It's maybe not a good thing to say in an interview.
no.
If you
No,
want
it's
the
not.
job of officiating the wedding, say, I don't want the wedding to go as planned. It's like, well, you're immediately off our list. What can I say?
But yeah, that's Larry. And then
That's
we
Larry.
get
We
another
get a
guy.
singing man.
We get
Yeah.
a singing man.
We had
who
absolutely no
we
idea
had
who this
no
was.
idea.
Yeah, we were like,
this
who the
was.
fuck is this guy?
He's never been in an episode of Fuller House. So
No.
we were just thinking,
No.
like, is he a celebrity? Is he
just a
Are we
guy?
supposed to know who this guy is?
And
Is
we
it
don't
pop
find
cultural
out until the
osmosis?
end of this entire bit where they're
Yeah.
showing people. So
Yeah.
he's just singing and they go, no. And then they move on and we're going, what the fuck? But Gia is here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think Gia's line is she says like, hey, I've been married 4 times. I can do this in my sleep. And then she takes a big glug from a flask.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, Gia's drunk. So I guess
Just not.
So I guess
that's
not.
Remember the episode of Full House where Steph started smoking because of Gia?
Yeah.
Do you think Steph's drinking problem also came from Gia?
You know what? I feel like that's a fair
Yes!
assumption.
Yes. God.
But then we
that's
go from
bad.
Gia to Matt, and they're like, "Oh, Matt, do you know how to officiate a wedding?" And Matt's like, "Well, I'm not officially licensed as a minister, but I know someone who is." And he pulls out his puppet.
Yes.
Remember Oliver the puppet?
I love that the puppet is an ordained minister. However, Matt is not.
I know. Maybe the puppet was the one that was supposed to marry. Well, that wouldn't make sense because
Like,
then why
he
would
got
Miss
ordained
Piggy replace?
not for himself, but for his puppet.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy
I-
they brought back Oliver the puppet. He's great.
We know that it's so good.
Yeah.
We know that Matt always wanted to be a ventriloquist. It's weird to find out that he wanted to be a ventriloquist that marries people, apparently.
A ventriloquist who is also ordained.
Yep, but it's so good, especially the real, well, I'm not a licensed minister, but I know someone who is.
Oh,
And then he pulls out the
me,
puppet.
Oliver.
Oh my god.
yeah.
And then the singing man comes back in and keeps singing, and he sings Yankee Doodle Dandy, and we go, oh,
that's
that's who that is.
Yeah, because I remember that episode of
Yeah.
Full House. Yeah.
From that episode of Full House where I believe it's Michelle who wants to be Yankee Doodle,
Yeah, that's what
but
it
this
was.
other kid comes in and fucking kills it.
Mhm.
And Michelle has to learn, okay, this kid's too talented to not be Yankee Doodle.
Yeah.
So is this the biggest presence Michelle has in this?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
Her
is.
friend from elementary
She's never
school.
mentioned in this entire episode, so it
No.
is.
Neither Michelle nor Aunt Becky are mentioned in this episode at all.
Because they're either late, both dead, or one is dead and one is in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the family is ashamed.
There can
The
be
family's
no
just
other
ashamed of both of them.
explanation.
Yeah, no other explanation.
But
Sorry.
we finally find out that Singing Man is Derek, who went to elementary school with Michelle,
Yeah.
who was on their list for
And
some
is somehow
reason.
at the wedding of not
Yeah.
Michelle.
Maybe Derek is an ordained minister. and
Maybe
that's what they
Derek
called-
is dating Michelle, and he's there on her behalf. That's my headcanon.
Ooh.
Yeah, suck
Okay.
it. There we
Okay.
go.
It's pretty good.
I don't want to make any assumptions. I assumed that he
I'm
wasn't
not
really
make-
dating
What
women.
assumptions are there to make? The show is over.
No, I assumed that that guy doesn't date women was my
Oh.
assumption.
Right. Okay. I gotcha. But that's what you mean by assumption. That not.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So I don't
your
want to
assumption.
assume. So maybe he is dating Michelle, and she
Maybe.
sent him in her place. But anyway, guys, we have a problem. The hairdresser for all the girls can't make it. If only we knew someone in this house who knows how to dress hair and cut hair, and also maybe has a fun accent and is getting married today.
Oh man, that really. I don't know anybody who fits all those exact criteria you just laid out,
In
Mark.
comes Fernando.
Oh, Fernando.
Oh, our favorite character, Fernando, fits that description.
Yeah, he does.
Yep.
So he comes barreling in.
Yeah.
He's
He has a-
ready.
He has a very good line where he's like really excited to be doing hair again. And he goes like, I'm doing hair again? Oh, nothing could be more exciting than that. And then Kimmy says, you're getting married today.
Yes, he is.
He certainly is.
Jimmy locked him down.
And
Yeah.
Max
So-
is very much against Fernando doing their hair for some reason.
Yeah.
And they're like,
yeah.
well, it can
they're
either
all
be
against it.
Fernando or J-Money with a bowl. You decide.
Yeah.
And the fact
So
that those
good.
are your two options. Again, we love our sad boy
We
J-Money.
love our
Also-
sad boy.
Do they need to cut hair today? Like, can't you just style it? I don't know.
Maybe
But-
he's just there to. The implication is that they have to get it cut because they'd have to have J-Money with a bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why you would get your hair cut on the day of the wedding, but
But
I don't know.
it's good because they have the perfect man for the job.
yeah.
But
Exactly.
next scene, guys, Rocky and Ethan are here.
Hooray!
Yay!
Always good to see them, especially Rocky.
Yes, and I'm sure nothing bad will happen over the course of this scene.
Wait, you mean bad like
who's that at the
Lola?
door?
Like Lola enters immediately?
Lola's
Yeah.
here. Lola's back. Remember Lola?
Remember Ramona's old best friend Lola, who J-Money had a
Right.
massive crush on and then was dating? Remember
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember the girl who ruined J-Money?
I remember.
Remember the girl who inspired the name J-Money?
Wait, that's right. She did ruin
Yeah.
J-Money.
She's
Remember,
back.
he was a cool kid, and in his awkwardness in pursuing her,
became a sad boy.
he became
J-Money.
a sad boy.
Okay, so maybe
Became
she
the
didn't
lovable
ruin
sad
him.
boy that
Maybe
we all
should
love.
actually thank Lola for perfecting J-Money.
That's true. She perfected him.
Yeah, maybe Lola is the real hero of the show.
Yeah.
She came in, perfected J-Money, and then when she wasn't needed anymore, she vanished. Probably
Yep.
to a different show that needed a cool boy in need of turning into a sad boy.
Yep. But J-Money is freaked out. Michael Campion is doing some great face acting.
Yes.
Mhm.
He looks terrified, and he just goes, "Hey, Lola." And when she
It's
speaks to him
great.
again, he goes, "Hey, Lola."
So good.
He looks terrified, and it's great.
Rocky aggressively approaches Lola. It's great. I was waiting for Rocky to fully assault Lola, but instead she just introduces herself. J-Money does not say that Rocky is his girlfriend.
Oh my
Instead,
God.
he says that this is Rocky, but not like the boxer or the mountains or the squirrel.
Yeah.
It's like the girl.
Michael Campion had some real Adam Higginboo vibes in this
Yeah,
scene.
he's just doing
Exactly.
incredible work
Some
in the
real,
background.
Yeah, he was wonderful.
But Ramona says, "Ethan, can you maybe escort Lola out of here for a second?" And he does, and then
Forever.
and then
Yeah.
Rocky is like, "Not the squirrel," and she and she leaves.
Yeah. Wow.
She storms off. Well, Ramona comes back in, and she's like, "What was that? You didn't introduce Rocky as your girlfriend? How can you be so dumb and awkward?" Oh yeah, no, she says, "You didn't introduce Rocky as your girlfriend," and J-Money's response is, "She hates it when I do that.
Oh right, yeah.
She's told
She
me a
says-
million times when we're in public, pretend you don't know me."
Oh my god.
We love our
So
sad
good.
We
boy.
love
Yeah.
our sad boy. Oh.
Which, by the way, I know it sucks that he just like froze up in front of Lola and didn't say, "This is my girlfriend, Rocky." But if Rocky's fully like, "Don't tell people we're dating," that's also something to be upset about.
Yeah,
I know she's definitely kidding, but also,
I also feel like it's perfect to mention, like, one last time, Rocky is quite possibly the perfect girlfriend for J-Money.
Yes. It's so good together.
They're so good.
Such a great pairing. I love
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, so Ramona is telling J-Money, like, how could you be like that? How could you not introduce Rocky as your girlfriend? When all of a sudden, the door opens again, and who should walk in but
Chad
another
Brad
early
Bradley?
season favorite?
It's not
Chad Brad Bradley.
Damn it!
Unfortunately. And it's unfortunately Marius Yo of the band Sexy Zone couldn't make it either. So they went down the list of exes and they found Robert Popko, who is
that
back.
would've been wild if they actually got married.
Could you imagine if the
so
door
fun.
opened and they just randomly got Marius Yo of the band Sexy Zone?
My favorite pop star, Marius Yo of the band Sexy Zone.
How would you even justify that? Like going,
You wouldn't.
the character going to San Francisco. You just
Well,
couldn't.
I think he flew back because he just heard that she's dating someone else and he wants to win her hand back. He's like, news travels really slowly in Japan. I know you've been dating this guy for a while, but I want you back.
I mean, the news had to travel across the entire ocean.
Yeah.
So, like,
I flew across an ocean to get you. And she's like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
but no, Popko is here, and Ramona does the same thing that J-Money did.
Hey, Popko.
This is my Ethan.
Popko does like a whole thing where he's like, "Yo, Ethan, oh my god, you invited my Postmates guy. How do you know him?" And then Ramona just like freezes up.
Yeah. She says this is my Ethan, which was very good. And Ethan leaves upset.
Yeah, as you
how
should.
How else do you respond to that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But we go back to the best hairdresser in the world, Fernando.
Yes. He's just finished cutting DJ and Steph's hair.
Well, actually, we missed a scene.
Did we?
Where he was about to start, but then Jimmy comes down wearing his.
That's this scene.
That's this scene.
That's this scene.
Because he's about to cut
Fernando
Kimmy's
has
hair.
cut has cut
he's
DJ
already
and
cut-
Stephanie.
Yeah, he hasn't cut Kimmy's yet.
He hasn't cut Kimmy's yet.
Okay.
And he's about to, and Jimmy's like, "No, wait, you can't do it." And he's wearing a paper bag with a smiley face on it.
Yes.
Which I think it's a very nice touch that he went out of his way to draw a face on the bag.
Yeah, he says, "You can't cut Kimmy's hair because you're not allowed to see Kimmy. I'm wearing a paper bag over my head with a smiley face." It's so good. And there's a really good moment because Steph says, "You can't be serious." And Jimmy flips the bag around and there's a frowny face on the other side. And he says, "Does
so
it look
good.
like I'm joking?"
It was so good. I love
So
the fact that he drew
good.
two faces.
One final iconic Jimmy moment.
Iconic Jimmy Giblin
Oh,
moment.
so great.
And then he's like, "Fernando, if you want to cut Kimmy's hair, I brought you this blindfold if you want to cut Kimmy's hair." And Fernando's like, "It's okay. I know what I'm doing. Put the blindfold on me. I'll take out my sharpest pair of scissors and just direct me in the direction of my wife."
Yep. Very good. Sorry. Soon to be wife.
Soon to be wife, yes. Ex-wife, but soon to be wife again.
Yes. And and that's a big cliffhanger of how that's going to turn out.
Yep.
Boy.
But in the meantime, we have another person showing up in the living room because J-Money and Ramona are like, "Oh, what are we going to do? Our exes are here. What's going to happen now?" And then Steve comes in.
Mhm.
And Steve,
Yeah.
with the major dad energy, is like, "You're going to run into exes sometimes. You just got to learn how to deal with it. Sure do hope none of my exes show up to this wedding. That would be really weird."
There's a line that I like a lot where they explain what's going on to him. And he says, like, "Wow, that is some CW style teen drama. What is this, Riverdale?" And it's like, yep, Steve has completed his full transformation from guy next door pining after DJ to dad.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a real
Seamlessly.
shame, though, because I would have imagined in
Seamlessly.
season 6 of Fuller House, there would have been a huge overarching plot of J-Money experiencing the epic highs and lows of high school football.
He already did experience the epic highs and lows of high school.
But even more.
I mean, there's always room for more, especially if it involves murder, like in Riverdale.
Oh my god. Are they gonna kill Michelle? Are they gonna kill Aunt Becky?
Kill Michelle.
Or maybe there's a season where J-Money starts wearing a hat, which is weird.
Ooh, yeah.
That's
He doesn't fit in.
Popko also used to wear a hat, and he doesn't in this episode.
He doesn't in this
I feel like the
episode.
fedora really like completes the Popko look, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah. But
No.
Steve tells them, look, you're going to run into your exes and it's going to be awkward, but you just have to get through it. That's what life is.
Yeah.
Major dad energy, and he leaves.
Exactly.
And then Rocky and Ethan walk in, and Ramona apologizes to Ethan. It's very nice. He accepts. And J-Money starts to apologize to Rocky using Ramona's exact words.
Yeah. And Rocky's like, are you really going to use the exact same words that Ramona just used? And J-Money's like, well, I mean, yeah, it worked for Ramona, right?
What the fuck?
And Rocky's like, well, it's not working for you. I'm leaving.
We've had episodes that are about like J-Money sort of learning to be a boyfriend, but
Yeah.
apparently the lessons never stick.
No. I mean, this is a different sort of conflict, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of it is just based on like Rocky is not, you got to learn how to be a boyfriend to Rocky specifically.
Sure.
Well, also, no, because that would have never worked using the same line twice.
No.
That would have never
But
worked.
I feel like we've had some episode where he hurts Rocky's feelings and apologizes poorly before.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
happened.
But she's about to leave, and he says, "Rocky, don't leave. I love you."
Boo!
Boo.
Yeah. I know what they're going for.
Yeah, I get it. Like, I don't doubt that he loves Rocky.
Yeah.
That she loves him back, but that's so obviously the excuse you use when you're an idiot who's trying to get out of being an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it very much comes off at like, I feel like what they're going for is like in this last ditch attempt, or not even attempt, just like in this last moment where she's slipping away from him, he admits his feelings, it comes out. But what it feels like is it feels like him trying to be manipulative and being like, don't go, I love you.
Exactly. Yeah. But she, I guess, is easily manipulated because she falls for it. Yeah.
And she's like, I love you too, J-Money.
I know it's hard. I'd prefer to think of it as sweet because I like those characters.
Yeah.
It is sweet. I think him saying I love you in this moment could have worked, but he needed to actually apologize, and he never did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we needed like a more earnest, less frenzied sort of apology after that.
Yeah. I think the problem is that it just came so suddenly and out of nowhere that it doesn't quite work.
That it feels like him saying that to keep her there rather than saying
like
it
out of
because he means
desperation
it.
as opposed to out of love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it just needed one more line where he like calms down and is like, I care about you and I don't want you to go or whatever.
I love you.
I get
Like, that could have
flustered
worked.
because, I just got flustered and I panicked because I love you.
Yeah. Like
just a
that
real
would have worked better.
apology.
Yeah.
But she says, I love you too.
Yeah.
Which that part is sweet.
That is.
Yeah.
Or sad if he's manipulating her.
No, he's not manipulating her.
I don't think J-Money is smart enough to manipulate somebody like
he's
Rocky.
not smart enough to manipulate anyone.
Like he's not smart enough to manipulate anybody. He's definitely not smart enough to manipulate Rocky.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. He's too dumb for that.
Anyway, Fernando has done an amazing job being blindfolded.
Yes.
Kimmy, her hair's cut. She's stunning. Ramona is there and she says she's so happy for her mom and dad. And she says like, no crying because I can't take the time to redo your makeup. And then Kimmy says something about like, yeah, we just can't think about how we've been friends for 30 years. And this is our last time together as single women or as unmarried women because they're not single.
Yeah.
And then they start to cry, but
I
fan
will
away their
say-
tears.
As well, there's one last thing that I forgot about the last scene is like as Ramona and Ethan are leaving, Ethan's like, okay, I forgive you. By the way, can you help me come outside for a bit? Your Uncle Jimmy has a paper bag on his head and is running into chairs.
So good. So
Why
good.
I can't believe we
Keep it
forgot to
on.
mention that. I can't believe we forgot about that. But he
love
kept
that.
it on
Just
and is
in
now
case.
ruining
Just in
everything.
case.
Yeah, what happens if Steph comes out unannounced? But yes, I felt like I had to bring that up because I forgot about that until now.
Yes. But we cut to Max in the living room. He's in a dapper suit.
Yes.
And then Rose and CJ, remember Rose and CJ? They walk in and he escorts them off to the wedding. I'm realizing now, in the episode, I definitely thought there was going to be a scene between CJ and Steve.
There should have been.
There never was.
I feel like, this is like my problem with this episode, and we'll get into it more later. Yeah. But I feel like the first half of this episode, right, was very fun. Very like we're bringing back all these old characters and they're interacting and it's like very fun, right? And then the second half of the episode is just like the wedding, the wrap up, and they don't really tie up all the loose ends created in the first half.
That's true. End of the J-Money Rocky story is immediate. That scene where they say I love you. Yeah. Which it just feels like you need another scene later on. Not so much because there's that much more to wrap up, but I mean, you could check in more with them, but it's just like, that's really early to be ending this storyline.
It's like they brought back all these characters for them all to be in like one scene and then in the background of the wedding. Because like Lola and Popko don't really have any more lines after their one scene where they come in. CJ and Rose don't really have any lines after this scene. It's kind of a letdown.
I wasn't even really thinking about Lola and Popko. There should have been more for them to do, especially in the whole grand play between their new significant others and their old significant others.
And how they're how they used to be best friends with Ramona and J-Money respectively.
Yeah, and you could have teased out the resolution of like the apologies and like making it all right longer. Especially with CJ and Rose, because they were so setting up, Steve has that whole thing about like, you're gonna run into your exes and you just got to deal with it. Anyway, I'm sure that's never going to happen to me.
And then CJ comes in separately and never interacts with Steve.
Exactly. And doesn't do anything in the episode.
Yeah, I know they wanted a lot of these characters here, but they should have focused on them if they were.
And even then, like if you look at IMDb, there are so many characters that are like listed as appearing in the episode that are just in the background.
Baseball Christie.
Baseball Christie.
He's here. Janet as well. Let me find the actual list. Janet was one,
I believe Janet shows up next to a character who has a line.
Oh, okay.
I also expected Harry. Stephanie's preschool husband,
who is listed.
He is there.
He is listed. He just doesn't have any lines.
Yeah.
And Viper, our favorite. Remember the reunion episode?
That's right. Yeah. Viper.
DJ's biker boyfriend.
Yeah, I think that's it in terms of people who like don't have any lines, unless I'm forgetting anybody.
Well, now that we're talking about all these cameos, because then we get into the wedding, and it's very much
we get into the wedding,
but
it's
do
great.
We want to play a certain?
I have another lead into that.
Oh, you go ahead.
So it's the wedding, right? Yeah. And it's very nice. Uncle Joey walks Kimmy down the aisle. Uncle Jesse walks Steph down the aisle.
Vicky from Full House is here. Remember,
Vicky from Full House is also here.
Danny's ex-fiance.
Vicky from Full House is also here. And they're like, wait, who did we get to officiate the wedding?
Oh, before that, there is just one other thing that I want to bring up. I don't mean to interrupt. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Where Gia says to Matt, like, you're not going to object, are you? And he's like, I'm not going to object, but Oliver might.
Which brings up, like, I really thought somebody was going to object because you had that thing with Larry earlier. Now you have Matt. CJ is here too. Like, there was the opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
But yes.
Could have even been a fun joke where CJ is like, I object. And then it's like, not really. You made a scene at my wedding.
Yeah. Like that could have been fun. Yeah. But yeah. So they're like, oh, who did we get to officiate the wedding? And then down from the heavens descends the one, the only Joey McIntyre from New Kids on the Block.
Should have been Macy Gray, but I'm okay with this.
I know. Well, they also got another celebrity because Lisa Loeb also later plays at the wedding after all that.
Yeah,
which makes me wonder, guys, how much money do you think they paid for these cameos?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Look,
but maybe there's a way to find it out by looking at a website where you can pay actors money.
Is it time for everybody's new favorite game show?
Yeah.
Everybody's new favorite game show. Guess that Cameo. Working
We'll
title.
get back to the wedding in a moment, but this is our finale. We want to have fun.
Yes.
We are playing this game.
This felt like a very natural lead-in, at least the most natural one that I could think of. So, we, after recording one day, we're like, oh, we were just looking through cameo.com. No reason.
Yeah.
Mainly at
But we were
Santa
just
Claus.
like, and we realized, yes, we looked at Cameo. We realized, wow, a lot of people on Cameo seem to charge a lot of money for these personalized messages.
Exorbitantly
Like,
high prices.
Mark, I know you found multiple different Santas, if you want to go
Yeah.
into that.
There were Santas ranging from like $50 to $150.
Which
Wow. You're like,
then
what?
inspired me to create a game for my two co-hosts and fellow friends of finding every single Fuller House actor I could find on Cameo and having them guess how much each cameos cost and like who's more expensive than who
Yes.
in
Let's do it.
a little fun game. So before the episode, I found a bunch of actors and their price on Cameo as of today, the day of recording, beginning of 2022.
Okay.
So here's the list. I'm going to run down the list.
Yeah.
We have Andrea Barber,
Okay.
Kimmy Gibbler. Oh, this is also in the order of, I just searched Fuller House. I
Okay.
searched Fuller House, and then this is the order that I found them in on Cameo, the order that they're listed. I say this now because number 2 is David Lipper, and you might wonder, who is that? That's the guy who played Viper.
Okay.
He's the second person listed on Cameo.
Okay.
Okay.
Next, we have our boy, Juan Pablo de Pache. Our other boy, Michael Campion. The Messett twins, who play Tommy, Mark's, notable for being Mark's least favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
Jodie Sweetin, Steph. John Brotherton, who plays Matt. We have Isaac Presley, who plays Popko. And finally, Bob Saget. Now, I want you to arrange these actors from least expensive to most expensive.
I tried writing Popco on my notes app and it came up polio. Just thought that was funny.
I can text you the
Okay.
list again if you didn't get it.
Okay. Here's my logic.
Okay.
I think it's going to be the people who were regulars on Full House first.
Yes, I think that too.
I think
Okay.
Bob Saget's going to be the most
Yes,
expensive.
I would.
Okay.
I would think he's gonna be the
And-
most expensive.
And then I'm going to go with Jodie Sweetin, who was also a lead on Fuller House and was a
Mhm.
lead on Full House. Andrea Barber was a side character on Full House and a lead on Fuller House. So I think she's 3.
Okay.
I might next go with Juan Pablo de Pache.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think Michael Campion. No, I'm between Michael Campion and John Brotherton. I'm going to say Michael Campion, then John Brotherton.
Okay. Wait, so I'm just writing down the list now because I realized I probably should be doing that. So we have Bob Saget, Jodie Sweetin, Andrea Barber, Juan Pablo de Pache, and then Michael Campion over John Brotherton?
You know what? I'm going to put John Brotherton over Michael Campion.
Okay.
Then I'm going to do the Messett twins.
Okay. And now
Then
we're down-
David Lipper. And then
Okay.
Isaac Presley.
Okay.
Because David Lipper, he could have been working for a while.
Harrison, do you have any edits or do you want to go with the same order that Mark just listed?
Oh no, we're competing. This is a game show.
Okay. Give me
I
your order.
realize Mark's is probably the most logical. So
Give me
I
your order.
feel-
I'm probably
So
wrong.
you're going to go complete chaos.
I'm not going to go complete chaos because I want a chance at winning.
Okay.
But all right, so I'm gonna go Bob Saget first. I think he is probably the most expensive.
Okay.
I assume he probably like thought of how much his agent would charge. I think Mark is wrong about Jodie Sweetin. I think it's gonna be Andrea Barber second and Jodie
Okay.
Sweetin third.
Got it.
Okay. Now, what I don't know much about the Messett twins, but I know they're too young to be running their Cameo accounts. So I'm going to say that their mom has charged the 4th highest.
You think
Yeah.
Wait, I want you to know I want to ask you, just because you're putting them so high, how much do you think they charge?
I don't know. I would have $5,000 for an appearance by these children.
$5,000.
No, obviously
this-
not really.
Zach,
but-
this is Guess That Cameo, not The Price is Right.
yeah,
That's
this
fair.
is just that. Yeah. So I think they're gonna be number 4. I think
Okay.
Juan Pablo will be number 5. I'm thinking somehow David Lipper is number 6.
Okay. Interesting.
John Brotherton 7, Michael Campion 8, Isaac Presley 9. And
I
think
should have
that's
put
it.
David Lipper higher, but I'm sticking with my order because I want to see.
Okay, I need to do the calculate. How many? Okay, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had 9 people.
Mhm.
Okay, I will say, Mark, out of the 9 people, you placed 7 out of 9 in the correct slot.
Damn!
Yes! Yes!
And then Harrison. Okay, you had 1.
Wow,
Oh,
I
think
I
you
must
got
have completely fucked this up.
You
then.
got Bob Saget in the right spot. I think everybody else is switched.
Damn
Bob
it!
Saget is yes. So the actual order, I will say, Mark only switched around the bottom 2.
Yes!
Oh!
Yes. I was hedging my bets because I thought David Lipper's probably been acting longer, so he's probably like, I can charge more, but
Yeah.
So the actual order, I'll go from least expensive to most expensive. David Lipper is at the bottom. Viper from Full House and Fuller House.
Yeah. Okay.
Second person listed for Fuller House. It's listed in his bio as like I was on Fuller House. So
Wow.
that should have been a clue. It charges $20.
$20. Okay.
Next is Isaac Presley, who plays Popko, charges $25, so not a big difference.
okay.
Then we go up to the Mesa Twins, are the third lowest. They charge $40.
$40. Okay.
Well, there are 2 of them, so
There are 2 of them, so it's really $20 each. So really, they might be at the bottom.
Who requests one individual message?
Yeah. Could you imagine if you get a request for like, oh, one of the twins, I don't care who, or just like they name drop one of them.
Oh, that's so much better than requesting a specific twin to be like, I just want one of them. I don't care which it is. I don't want the illusion of there being one Tommy ruined for me.
Oh my god. But yes, after that, we have a bit of a jump to Michael Campion for $59.
Oh, okay. Game surprise.
John Brotherton is next with $80.
$80. All right.
Juan Pablo de Pache in 4th place for $100.
Okay.
Now you can see we're getting a little bit pricey.
Yeah.
Andrea Barber comes in at number 3 with $135.
Oh.
Second place, Jodie Sweetin with $150. And just for fun, I want you to guess how much Bob Saget is at number 1.
$300.
Jodie Sweetin was $150.
$700.
Okay, Harrison was closer. It's $349.
Oh, okay.
Woo!
And this concludes
Wait.
Guess That
Hold
Cameo.
on. Why would you stop at $349?
So
Just
people
charge
don't see
$350
$350 and think that that's outrageous.
cheaper.
It's
Yeah.
like how Michael Campion charges $59 instead of an even $60.
Okay, yeah, there you go. That's why.
I'm very happy I got so many of them right.
These are the current prices as of beginning of January 2021.
I
No,
went
2022.
I went all chaos, and I'm happy.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I was
I
trying really
regret
hard
nothing.
not to like facially give it away how close you were getting the entire time. Because I was
But
like,
guys,
oh, he's getting
speaking
very close.
Logic wins. I used
Yeah.
mainly logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
Pretty
wins
much.
the day.
But before we go on, we do have one other special thing to go that relates to cameos. We've been noted as saying since the beginning, the podcast cannot end until Juan Pablo de Pache comes on the podcast.
Yeah.
We are very direct about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I am happy to report we have
Yes.
Juan Pablo de Pache, Fernando himself, right now. Play the clip, Tyler.
Hello, everybody. How are you? This is Fernando. I'm not drunk. I am in Argentina. I'm actually in Argentina for the first time in a long time. And I came to do Christmas here because Christmas here, there's no snow. Who needs the snow? No. Christmas here is summer, okay? So that's why I'm here. Kimberlina stayed at home because she wanted to do some house cleaning. But I just said, you know what? I'm going to come to Argentina. So anyway, to all the fans of Fullest House, this podcast that I'm not charging any copyright infringement from, watch out, Fullest House. But for all the fans of the podcast, happy Christmas. And also happy watching the podcast. Lots of love. Bye.
I don't know what you were talking about, Zach. That wasn't Juan Pablo de Pache. That was
Yeah.
obviously Fernando Hernandez Guerrero Fernandez Guerrero.
And-
My
We
mistake.
definitely-
Sometimes he lets Fernando take over the cameo.
Right.
It's
Right.
You know.
And we definitely didn't get inspired to do that by going on Cameo to request Juan Pablo Apache and then
Not
realizing
at
how
all.
crazy the world of Cameo is.
That's true.
Not at all.
That's true. But I
But
hope you
anyway, thank
enjoyed
you,
that.
Juan
We
Pablo.
really did.
Yes.
We were so psyched to receive that message.
Oh, it was
But
wonderful.
guys, the wedding.
The wedding
Also,
is here.
wait, guys, the podcast, it can end. Juan Pablo came on our podcast.
Yeah.
It's over.
We did it. It's over. It's
In
really
the last
over.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, on to the wedding. Yeah.
On to the wedding. I don't have much to say about the wedding because it's sweet, it's nice, but like it just kind of goes off without a hitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make their,
Or I
they do
guess
their vows.
I guess
and
it
they're
goes
very
off
nice.
with 3 hitches. 3 people got hitched.
Woohoo!
You get it?
Heyo.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
You guys?
And they got
Yeah.
Joey McIntyre. First of all, to take an online to get ordained online like 10 minutes before the wedding started,
Yeah.
and then to officiate the wedding. So like Danny Tanner has some kind of dirt on Joey McIntyre,
Yeah,
right?
Danny Tanner hosts a morning talk show. I bet Joey McIntyre was on, Wake Up San Francisco, Wake Up USA,
Uh-huh.
and something happened in a dressing room that only Danny Tanner saw.
Oh, God.
Mm.
Oh, no.
And he's like, now you gotta officiate my girl's triple wedding.
But they give their vows. It's very sweet. Fernando talks about getting a second chance to be a better man, and Kimmy talks about the healing power of second chances. That one I thought was like very specific to their relationship, which I really
yeah, I like
appreciated.
Yeah.
The other 2 were also sweet and specific in their ways, but they were, they love each other, they cherish each other, they mean so much to each other. But I kind of liked how like specific to their journey Kimmy and Fernando's vows were.
Yeah, for sure. That stood out to me.
Guys, Dwayne is here, the guy who
Yes.
says whatever. He's not voiced by Scott Menville, who's played by Scott Menville, who voices Robin in
Well,
Teen Titans.
And
Yep.
another
God.
IMDb trivia for the final episode. So this episode guest stars Joey McIntyre, as we all
Yeah.
know, and also Scott
Yes.
Menville, which Mark just
Yeah.
mentioned. Scott Menville, on top of Robin, also happened to voice an animated Joey McIntyre in the New Kids on the Block animated series in 1990,
Oh my God.
according to IMDb.
So we have 2 Joey McIntyres in this episode.
Yeah.
Ooh, they got to do like the Spider-Man thing where they like point at each other.
Yeah.
Ah.
Wait, if I'm Joey McIntyre and you're Joey McIntyre,
Then
Then
who's
who's
driving
driving
the
the
bus?
we had to throw one more in there.
But we get to the I do's. It's
Yes.
very sweet. Lisa Loeb is here and she's
Yes,
singing.
Lisa Loeb is also here and
Actually-
she sings.
One of the best songs in the entire show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, not a surprise, it's Lisa Loeb, but like,
Yeah.
damn.
it's Lisa Loeb, famous
She really-
musician.
She really
Yeah.
sang
Who
a good
knew?
one.
All it took was getting a famous musician to perform for it to be a good song.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true. That's very true. Also, Stephanie killed it when they asked her to take care of the music, and she's like, "Well, I'll call my
My good friend Lisa Loeb.
my good
Yeah.
friend, famous singer-songwriter Lisa Loeb."
Yep,
Great. And they didn't even know Joey McIntyre was going to be there.
Yeah.
that's true. Joey McIntyre just surprised everyone.
There were 2 celebrities at this impromptu
There's also
wedding.
we forgot to mention this earlier, but Joey McIntyre shows up and Juan Pablo Apache is like, "Oh, not Juan, Fernando, not Juan. I'm getting my boys confused."
Yeah.
Fernando is just like, "Oh, Joey McIntyre. If it weren't for this being such a sweet gesture, I would kill you right now."
Yeah, Fernando's still angry at Joey McIntyre.
Which
Oh,
makes
God.
me, I love that Fernando still has a one-sided rivalry with Joey McIntyre. He's moved on from literal children to pop stars. To famous pop
Yeah.
stars.
But Joey Gladstone, not McIntyre, makes a toast about being included in the family and how much that's enriched his life. Jesse makes a toast about, being an angry young kid and how much this family has helped him and changed him.
Uh-huh.
They throw the bouquets. Ramona and Lola catch bouquets, which, that's gotta be a blow to, the older women trying to catch bouquets
Yeah.
that these 2 teenagers are we're the ones who are going to get married
CJ was
next.
right there too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know who caught the third one, but if it's Rose, that's gotta be
I feel like it might have been CJ because I think she was holding
Oh, was it
something, but
CJ?
I didn't see her catch
You know what?
anything.
Good for CJ.
Yeah.
Good for CJ.
Yeah. the last one didn't work out. So, yeah.
Yeah. But, and finally Danny gives a toast, and it's very sweet. And we cut to, it's after the wedding, and Stephanie, DJ, and Kimmy are all eating cake. And it's they talk about how it's the last night they're having in the house together. And, you know, it's bittersweet, unlike the cake, which is sweet. That's a joke I'm making. I don't think they made that joke.
I don't think they made that joke either, but it's a very good joke.
That's
Mark.
a Mark original.
I'm gonna credit you for that one, Mark, because it was quite good.
Thank you.
Can we get a round of applause for Mark right now? Tyler, you can add that in post as well.
You're too kind.
Okay,
actually,
that's
you're just the right amount of kind. I deserve it. Thank you.
But yes, it cuts to the day after the wedding, and everybody's gonna be moving out.
Yeah. Ramona's room is all packed up, which is it's a sad visual. It's neat.
It is.
Yeah, the room is like empty.
J-Money, Tommy, and Max enter. Max says to her, "I know this might be a weird time to bring this up, but you owe me $7." And then he says, "I'm not good at showing emotion."
I was trying to think of a specific moment where he bet $7 with Ramona, but I couldn't think of one. But either way, it's a sweet joke.
I thought he was going to insult her hair or something. But it's a nice joke. You owe me $7. And then J-Money says, "We're going to miss you." And Tommy says, "We love you, Ramona." And guys, you know what? I really agree with Tommy here. I think he's got it right on. And I think like he might be growing and changing. And I think maybe
is this Tommy's redemption arc?
I think maybe Tommy's becoming a good baby.
Yeah.
And maybe I can forgive him.
Also, come to think of it, he's kind of a toddler now.
He's kind of a toddler.
That's true.
Yeah.
He maybe went from a bad baby to a good toddler.
A kind of okay toddler.
Yeah.
Kind of okay toddler.
He likes Ramona, and if you like Ramona, you can't be all bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Ramona's the
fair.
best.
Yeah. And they go down to the living room, and everyone's getting ready to leave. And Kimmy turns to Ramona and is like, "Are you ready to leave?" And she's like, "No, but I have all my stuff packed." Everyone's got their stuff packed, and they do one last group hug before before they all
DJ
leave.
DJ gives a speech.
Oh yeah.
About many things, but 2 lines that I wrote down that I thought kind of summed up a lot of it is she said, "You taught me, 5 years ago, I was at the lowest point in my life, and you guys came in and you taught me how to live again and how to love again." And she says, "You people are my everything." And it's very sweet. And I think Candace Cameron Bure does some of her best acting in the show. She really plays it well. The
emotion.
tears, the emotion, the heartbrokenness, but the fondness for all these people.
Yeah.
She's really good in this scene. I think I just wanted to say that. I know we've often been mean to her, but I think she's really good in this scene.
And we give credit where credit is due.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not monsters. We've never actually said she's
a
terrible actor. By
no.
We've never said
no.
I think as the show went on, our problems with DJ were more that
the writing,
the show never required her to change when she probably should have been growing and changing earlier than she did.
Yeah.
And I think she got much better, and I think we got an appreciation for some of the stuff that Candace Cameron Bure was doing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Especially in episodes there were the episodes she directed where we were like, "Oh, DJ's actually really good in this episode."
Yeah.
But Steve says to J-Money and Tommy and Max, let's give all the girls a moment alone. And so DJ, Stephanie, and Kimmy are alone. They say how they love each other. They do one last she-wolf howl. And then they leave, and DJ locks the door behind them. It's no longer always open. The show is ending. And this is where Tyler said it should have been open, and she should have told them it's always open.
Yeah.
And that's where the show ends. But instead,
and I have some thoughts on this part.
Oh, we've
Harrison
got some thoughts on this. This ending. I'm not a fan of this. So DJ hears a knock on the door. She goes ahead and opens it, and Kimmy and Steph are there. And they're like, turns out we don't want to move out after all. Can we stay?
Why did you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If it was so easy to stay, then why did you try to move?
Didn't you already like, if you're moving today, didn't you already like buy a house or like put down a payment on an apartment or something?
Yeah.
Like this is not like, you can do it. You can backtrack, but like this is not going to be an easy process.
No.
Like, you could have discussed this before. If you really didn't want to move, you could have just discussed it before it was time to move.
More so, the problem, how much this spits in the face of the growth that they've, like, accomplished by moving.
Oh, and that's not all, folks. Because Steph's like, it would be great to, be with you all again, especially because, I've got another baby on the way.
Yeah.
Steph is pregnant.
Steph is pregnant.
Who I believe it stated earlier in the series, like, because this is kind of like fucking with me now. She can't have children, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was a whole process for her to get pregnant the first time.
Good for her. That's wonderful. And
great, awesome.
these sort of things can happen, but also, like, I don't know. We were a bit off put by how much in the original Steph is becoming a mother plot, her story was shifted to, Steph needs to become a mother. She really wants to become a mother.
I liked that she had to go down the route of being a mother in her own way and having a baby in an untraditional but still valid way. And then they just drop this on us with literally 30 seconds left in the episode.
I remember reading somewhere that in Friends, they made a point of like every birth or when each of the 3 female leads have babies, they're all non-traditional and different. Phoebe carries triplets for her brother. She's a surrogate.
Yeah.
Rachel gets pregnant unexpectedly and, has an unplanned pregnancy and becomes a single mother. Mm-hmm. And Monica and Chandler can't have children, decide to adopt, and that they did that because there are a lot of people who go through these things.
Yeah.
And while I don't think it's like abhorrent to be like,
it doesn't invalidate having a child just on your own within the confines of marriage. Yeah, that's fine.
And while I'm very happy for the fictional character of Stephanie Tanner, it would be nice if they had continued with the thing of like, look, she's still fulfilled as a mother.
Yeah, it's just that like it doesn't make sense. It feels like they just kind of threw out logic and like all the stuff they had been building towards to be like, lol, nope, they are staying after all. Happy ending, am I right, guys?
They were trying to have their cake and eat it too.
Pretty much,
there's a saying for why that doesn't go well.
Yeah. And then like the episode just suddenly ends there.
Well, they say like, can we stay? Also, I think the pregnancy thing is like really thrown out there. Like I made a joke that DJ was going to be like, I'm pregnant. Because it just felt like something you throw on top and it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And they literally do it. They literally
do
it on top of
and then DJ's like, okay, you can stay, and then the episode ends.
Well, they say, can we stay? And DJ says, the door's always open. But I liked Tyler's suggestion of they should have moved out, but DJ says
the door's
always open.
Yeah,
like you can come back anytime.
Yeah, as in you're still family. You don't have to be in this house to be family.
I think my favorite TV endings are the ones where like there is a big change and like the show cannot go on as it's been going.
Yeah.
But there's still an implication that like, but if you wanted to, you could keep these stories going. I don't like it when it's like, all the characters all die or something like that. Like I like the finale of Friends where it's like Monica and Chandler are moving out to the suburbs.
Yeah.
That like this chapter of their lives is closed. The show can't keep going as it's been going, but they're all still friends and they'll still see each other.
Right.
And I like that. And I'm a sap and I'm a coward, so I like the comfort of that. But this is very much like nothing is going to change.
Yeah, it's like, well, here's the thing. They built up this big thing of like, this is the end. They're moving out. It's the end. Like they're done. And then they throw it all away in the last 10 seconds of the episode where they're like, can we stay? You can. And instead of DJ being like, no, you need to like, it would have worked if DJ was like, no, you need to like go out and live your own lives. You can't stay here forever. That would have been fine. That would have worked better than this, because instead she's like, okay, you can stay, and Steph and Kimmy are like, she said we can stay, yay, and then the episode ends.
I think
sudden.
I'm less upset about it as you two, but I do think it's
I'm not
a weak ending.
Okay, just to clarify, I'm not that upset because like fundamentally this is a good episode, but the fact that they tried again to have their cake and eat it too and just throw out the entire character arc, like that just was
exactly
absurd.
That's what annoys me about it.
It would have been stronger to do the thing of, I understand you guys are leaving and this chapter of our lives is closed, but I'm strong enough to keep going and I love you and the door's always open.
Yeah, and then end it there.
Yeah.
Just end it
It seems
there.
like they just kind of threw all that stuff in at the end to be like, lol, happy ending.
But rather than keeping rehashing this point, we want to do Sad Boy?
Let's do it. Final Sad Boy of the week.
Okay.
I feel like there's a pretty obvious nomination and winner.
Yeah.
Are we talking J-Money?
If we're talking
J-Money. The king. I feel like it's only fitting for J-Money to win the last Sad Boy.
I think it's J-Money.
I can't.
It's only fitting.
If we wanted to make this a contest like we usually do, I would probably nominate Jimmy, but I don't even really think he's a good contender.
I don't
for this
think
episode.
so.
I think there's one
maybe for bringing
winner.
up the puppet again.
No, but I mean, Jimmy does curse the wedding and then run into things with a bag on his head.
That is
But
funny.
I mean, J-Money with the fluffing of the pillow, with immediately being like, Jimmy didn't curse anything, did he?
And then Rocky and hey Lola.
The Rocky situation, how he poorly handles the Lola thing. Every time J-Money appears on screen this episode is a magical experience and just reminds us all why he is the king of the sad boys.
Yes.
So strong. It's a perfect mix of sadness, of good intentions, of comedy. It's great.
To talk about some of the things, fluffing the pillow.
Yes.
When Lola shows up and he completely freezes up,
Mm-hmm.
his
Hey,
voice
Lola.
cracks again. Hey, Lola.
It's
Twice,
so
hey,
good.
Lola.
It's so good.
He doesn't say Rocky is his girlfriend, instead says it's Rocky, but not like
The swirl boxer of the mountains.
yeah.
Also,
he says
that
it's Rocky, but not like the
Rocky,
squirrel boxer mountains.
Also, that his girlfriend does not like to be referred to as his girlfriend in public.
was getting there. He says, and it's done so well where he says, "Why didn't you say that Rocky was your girlfriend?" He says, "Well, she hates when I do that." And then says they have in fact had the conversation many times where she says, "Don't say I'm your girlfriend in public." It's really great. He tries to copy Ramona's apology. And you know what? But in the end, he and Rocky are in love with each other. And what's stronger than love?
Exactly.
The power of
All right.
sad.
Yeah, so J-Money wins again, which is great. We love our sad boy. He
so
came back
good.
with a vengeance. It feels right for him to win the last episode.
So
But the thing about that now, my plan for this thing, for and the overall winner, was for it to be like a close race until the end. And have a big announcement for who the overall winner is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not even close.
No.
J-Money has 15 wins, 37 nominations, which is tied for the most nominations with Fernando. A win rate of 40.5%, because we've been tracking that.
We have all these
Holy
statistics.
crap.
Tyler made a bunch of statistics one day, and it is wonderful. So I'm just gonna go through it now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We have a tie for second place, and I feel like this tie needs to be broken. I feel like we need to have an overall second and third place.
Ooh.
Well,
Okay.
I think the tie is broken because Stephanie, I have it up to Stephanie and Fernando both have 8 wins each.
Yes,
But Stephanie has a win ratio of 30%. She's won 30% of the
that's a good way
episodes
to
she's
break
been
it up.
nominated for.
Here's my counter argument though, because
Okay.
Fernando has been nominated 11 more times than Steph has, so he's consistently been up there.
Yeah.
So Fernando has been sadder in that he's on the board more, but
Yes.
Steph is sadder in that she wins more. Is that when she's sad, she's sad?
But they have the most win. They have the same amount of wins though, which is why I'm leaning more towards giving Fernando second.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just not sure. I think I can feel good giving Fernando second.
I'll you know what? I'll support it. Yeah.
All right, so the overall the podium, bronze medal goes to Steph, silver medal goes to Fernando, gold, of course, goes to J-Money. And wait, what's this I'm hearing now? Wait, hold on, guys. I'm hearing right now we got a special update. I'm hearing
wow.
J-Money himself is here to accept the award. Can we cut to that, please, Tyler? Can we cut to that?
Wow. Yeah, this is truly an honor, I think. When I started this show, I didn't know anything about sad boys or patheticness. I was just a kid with a dream. Yeah, it seems so far away now. I never thought I could be someone who gives himself a nickname or who could fail to dribble a basketball while eating a sandwich. But I did those things and so much more. So to any aspiring sad boys out there, I just want to say it is possible. Just let go of all your pride and you can do it too. I'd like to thank my mom, my brothers, Max and Tommy, Ramona, Aunt Stephanie, Kimmy, Fernando, Jimmy Gibbler, Danny, Jesse, Joey, Aunt Becky, and of course, Rocky. Without your examples and your constant mocking, I couldn't have done any of this. So thank you.
Oh my God. Wonderful speech. I am applauding you right now.
I am moved.
So beautiful.
I'm so moved. It was beautiful.
And thank
Lovely.
you, Michael Campion, for reincarnating the voice of J-Money.
Yeah.
To bringing J-Money back from the dead to speak as him one more time for us when we did the interview back during the summer.
Yeah, we asked him to record that during when we recorded the interview.
It wasn't as certain at the time, but we were pretty sure.
Still pretty sure that J-Money was going to win.
Yeah.
So the sad boy of our show is J-Money.
J-Money.
You know what? It couldn't have been anyone else. One last time for the road. 1, 2, 3.
J-Money.
Yeah.
Oh, that was wonderful. But that takes us to the end of Sad Boy of the Week.
And we usually end an episode after Sad Boy, but to get heartfelt right now, I wanted to offer a very, very sincere thanks to our producer and editor, Tyler, who 1, has to deal with us, 2, is the only reason this show is any good to listen to.
Oh, God,
we could not function without him. I have so much love and respect for Tyler. Tyler, do you want to hop on?
I guess, yeah. You kind of forced my hand there a bit with the
You can say
heartfelt.
no.
You could say no.
You can
I
say
can never
no.
say
You
no
can
to
say
you guys.
fuck
That's why
you,
we
Mark.
have 75 episodes of a podcast.
Aww. Plus all the bonus episodes and the interview.
Yeah, Tyler, I did want to ask you, we had seen most of the show before. As someone who was watching it for the first time and then also experiencing our reactions to it, what did you think of Fuller House?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious.
It's definitely a show that I spent a year and a half of my life consuming.
Oh my God.
I think by the end it gets fun.
I think so too.
It got a lot more fun towards the end.
It understood
for
what
sure.
it was a lot more towards the last season, I think. It definitely was a show that knew what its strengths were eventually, even though there were some things that it never fully gelled with, and we can quibble all we want.
Yeah. And I think my, my overall take is that I think the first 2 seasons aren't very good.
Yeah.
But I think maybe mid-season 3, the show really starts to find its groove and really establish the voices of the characters and becomes kind of a fun show. I would watch these later seasons of the show, if it was on at Nick and Night or something.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I would have watched reruns of this as a kid, with my dad, which is how I watched a lot of Full House.
And that's kind of the reason we did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of started off, I know we've mentioned the story before, how we've been friends for a very long time, and we started watching Fuller House on our own around the time we were graduating high school, and we all just kind of had this weird obsession with this show. To the point where we would keep watching it every time we hung out.
We're not the target audience, but Mark and I hung out one night, and for shits and giggles, we watched the first 2 episodes together, and then later on, we were kind of reminiscing about the good old times after graduation, and we just wanted something to watch and enjoy while we talked together. And
I was also there.
No, and I meant all of us, including you, Zach.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. The first time when I watched the show, it was just with Mark. Then we brought you in, but it
does strike me as there's a really weird bookend of we started really watching this after we graduated high school, like right after we graduated high school. And Zach, you're in a 5-year program, but Harrison, you and I,
we're out.
Just graduated college this past year.
I'm graduating soon.
Well, you're graduating soon.
One more semester. Congratulations.
Okay, well, Zach, here's the thing. If I said we all graduated college, wouldn't you have jumped in and said I haven't and corrected me anyway?
I was gonna say I'm graduating soon, but we don't. That's not important now.
You guys want to hear my experience of how I got this whole thing started?
You go for it.
It was I had watched maybe the first 2 episodes with Mark in his dorm room, trying not to annoy his roommate too much while we were cackling at what was happening on the screen. Yeah. And then months passed, and during quarantine, we're all trying to reconnect. And Mark had brought up, so some friends of mine who I had met both of you in passing in the past, but Mark was like, we're trying to figure out how we could do a podcast about Fuller House, and I have a title, Fullest House, and like I'm in. I'm on that basis alone.
Wonderful.
I'm game.
I love to know that's what hooked you.
We so appreciate that you.
We do appreciate it. Yeah, it's been wonderful.
I never used Adobe Audition ever before in my life.
Oh, wow.
Until this podcast. I was learning on the go, and now I
did not know
Adobe
that.
Audition professionally for my job.
We really are thankful for you, Tyler. Can't make that clear enough.
Yes, and I'm also thankful, like, in particular for actually like getting to know you more, which is amazing. Like having this working relationship has been wonderful, and thank you for all the work you've done on this. I didn't even know you had never touched any of the software until the podcast.
You're so good at it.
That's so impressive.
I was in it so blind at the beginning, but now I have 3 of my best friends because of this show. Hey. And to quote a much better finale, I'm the luckiest son of a bitch on earth.
Aww.
Thank you.
So my God.
I'm really happy I could introduce all of you.
Guys, I want to say, we joke, we make fun of each other, we get on each other's nerves making this because it's all part of the fun, but I really am so happy that we all did this together, and I'm so grateful to have you guys in my life.
Yes, I love you guys. I love you guys. So I remember Mark and I had talked about in passing possibly producing something together, some kind of content at some point, and then quarantine hit, and Mark came to me with the idea of this podcast, and I was like, ooh, this sounds like a very fun idea. I'm of course in to spend go back and rewatch this series with 2 of my best friends, and now Tyler as well, another one of my best friends.
And we've grown closer together, spent a lot of really fun time together, and we made 75 episodes of a podcast that people do listen to. Maybe not everybody in the world.
Yes. Thank you so much to everybody who has listened. Thank you
to everybody who listened.
For listening to this right now. This has been an absolutely insane journey for all 4 of us for the past year and a half. And we're excited to see where we go next. And in case anybody else has any more closing thoughts, I can move on.
I just wanted to say I am honored that anybody would listen to us, so I'm so thankful for everybody who does.
Yeah, thank you for listening and supporting us and doing all that fun stuff.
Yeah, if we gave you a moment of joy, if we made you laugh at some point, if we made you think about Fuller House in a new way, or Full House in a new way, I think we did a great thing with this podcast. So thank you for listening. I'm glad. Yeah,
we did so many things that like we didn't even think was possible. Like Michael Campion, we got to interview Michael Campion.
Yeah,
which is like wild. That's like a thing that I tell people, like new people, when I tell them about the podcast. Is like we interviewed an actual person from the show.
It's great, and we had 2 characters from the show on our finale, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is very fun.
But guys, if you do enjoy listening to us, we are not going away. We're going to be making some changes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we're going to keep making a podcast.
Right. So we are, as much fun as this was, we're excited to see where this goes next. And we are not done with this. Just because we're done with Fuller House doesn't mean we're going away. We are going to be doing a complete rebrand of ourselves because we figured, we enjoy doing this with Fuller House, and we want to do this with a bunch of other shows that we had fun watching previously or would want to watch again, which brings us to what we're going to be doing next. We're going to be, rebranding. with a new name.
Yeah,
Yes.
We've been thinking about this for a while, tossing out different names. Mark suggested a really good one that I think we're going to go with. We've decided to kind of make the show, this podcast, a little less focused on Fuller House specifically, though eventually we might get back to Full House. We haven't decided yet.
Our big connection, which we've explained, it was to Fuller House. And while we're interested in Full House, we want to branch out a little in the meantime.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we have decided probably to go with the name Rewatch Party, where we'll mainly focus on watching probably TV shows from our past.
We're going to be starting with iCarly.
Yes, we're going to be starting with iCarly. And we're going to be branching out from there.
To be clear, we're going to be watching the revival series of iCarly.
Yeah, we're going to be watching the revival, and then I believe we might make our way to the original series.
So we'll finally
the prequel.
The prequel series.
iCarly. Yeah.
iCarly TOS.
Yes. But yeah, if you enjoyed listening to us talk about Fuller House and you're interested in hearing us talk about other shows, we would love it if you stopped by, gave the first episode of Rewatch Party a listen when we make that, and if you stuck around, because again, we're all super thankful for you guys, every single person who's ever listened to an episode, told a friend, left a review, liked a post on social media, followed us. We really appreciate all of it, because it really turned into, because we kind of started off doing this kind of casually as like a way to pass time over quarantine, and this really kind of grew into something that I know for sure, at least I wasn't expecting. I can't speak for you guys, but it's been amazing. So thank you all again to the 3 guys I'm talking to right now, and to whoever is listening to this. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. And again, we're rebranding as Rewatch Party. I don't want to say the socials thing because Zach's going to take us out.
That's true.
Follow us on social media. We're still at Fullest House Pod, but we're going to,
in the meantime,
have updates there. Yeah.
But in case any other final thoughts from anybody?
No, I think I shared all my final thoughts. Again, just thank you to you guys. Thank you to anyone listening. This has been a great time talking about Fuller House. I don't know what I'm gonna do not watching Fuller House every week.
I know, it's gonna feel so empty,
show.
Right? We have to find the next mountain to climb.
Our lives will be a little bit less, well, you know.
And with that, that concludes the Fullest House podcast. If you liked what you just listened to, make sure to give us a like, a rate, a review, all that fun podcast stuff that we're, slowly but surely learning about as we go on. And again, if you like what you listen to, you can like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. As of right now, we're still at Fullest House Pod, but that is going to be changing soon, so stay tuned. One last time, I'm Zach Horowitz.
I'm Mark Greene.
And I'm Harrison Bloom.
And I'm Tyler Janess.
Yeah! Have we ever mentioned your last name except on the Frasier episode?
No.
I meant to do that, and I forgot.
And until next time, may your houses be fuller, and may your doors always be open. See you guys next time.